Greetings, this is Peter Alexander. In this video I'm going to demonstrate a few advanced tricks to create a more cartoonish character in Character Creator. The dilemma is that Character Creator's base avatar is designed around realism, and I am aiming for an anime style. The areas I'll be focusing on are the teeth, eyes, eyelashes, and skin. I'll also be adjusting the facial profile, creating a head preset, and applying elements of the newly created components to another stylized character. This demo provides some basic concepts that you can expand on for your project. I'll start by exporting the character using the Blender Pipeline add-on in Character Creator. Then I'll import the FBX file using the Character Creator /iClone add-on in Blender. With the avatar imported, I'm going to use the geometry of the original teeth to build the anime teeth. I'm going to grab an edge loop from the top of the gums and extrude a simple shape for the top teeth. Then I'll extrude again and add some depth. I will then delete the top rows of polygons, which will allow for an easy UV unwrapping. I will repeat this process for the bottom teeth, then combine the teeth into one object. Note, since the geometry has been extruded from the original teeth, I do not need to add vertex groups or weight maps. The teeth are also bound to the armature by default using this method. If you create more complex teeth using another method, you will need to assign the appropriate groups and weight maps embedded to the armature. With the teeth created, export the character using the Character Creator /iClone add-on and import the FBX using the Blender Pipeline plugin in Character Creator. Note, you may experience a warning during the import process, but the import should otherwise be successful. With the teeth created, I will work on the eyes. This is a more simple process than the teeth, as I'll mostly be altering the textures. You will need an image editor. If you do not have Photoshop, you can use an alternative such as Krita. Clicking on the Material channel and initiating the texture launcher will send the texture to your image editor. I will be editing the diffuse texture. In Krita, I will be creating a very simple texture to replace the realistic version. Just a white to red radial gradient for the sclera, and a black circle for the pupil and iris. I will save the texture, which is linked to a temporary file. Unless the link is broken, Saving the file in Krita will also update the texture in Character Creator. I will then manually copy this eye texture over to the other materials for the eye, as they are not linked to the saved file. I see that this is still insufficient due to the properties of this material, so I will adjust the sclera brightness. I will also blur the sclera's base material texture. I will use the same process to create stylized eyelashes. In this case, I will edit the opacity map, and will use the original as a reference when making the adjustments. Opacity, or alpha, operates on a black to white spectrum. Black is invisible, white is visible. Next, I will simplify the skin texture. There are a few ways to do this. I will use the simplest method for this demo. Select the diffuse texture slot for the head. In the Adjust Color dialog, dial the contrast to -100. Copy the texture, and then save it in the same texture slot. This will be as if you had imported a gray texture. Adjust the saturation, hue, and brightness until you achieve the desired skin tone. Copy this texture and place it in the slots for the body, arms, and legs. This will create a simple foundation for your tuned skin. If the normal maps are providing too much detail, dial down the normal intensity. You can make further adjustments to the skin by activating the skin color options. I wanted to subtract some detail, so I didn't use it initially. I'll make a few other adjustments before I start altering her facial profile. I will increase the scale of her iris. This can be done through the Morph Editor if you have the Headshot plugin, and can be done to a limited degree by manipulating the materials for the cornea. Next, I'll adjust the placement of her teeth. Although first, I noticed that the stylized teeth have odd normal effects. You can usually fix this by selecting the teeth and smoothing the normals in the Edit Normal option. Now I will adjust the teeth by referencing the thumbnails of each major expression. I will make some additional adjustments, which are just miscellaneous things that I see that still need to be corrected. Adjusting the expressions through the facial profile editor can be done through most 3D applications, with ZBrush and Blender having the most dedicated pipelines. In addition, Character Creator has native tools that can do limited expression corrections without having to leave the application. The Mesh Editor has basic sculpting capabilities, and the selection tools have a soft fall-off option that is great for doing minor corrections. Having exaggerated eyes can cause clipping issue with the eyelid. If adjusting the eyelid does not fix the issue, there are two other options: adjusting the shape of the eyeball or its position. Only the latter solution is currently supported by the mirror expression command. To move the position of the eye, use the proportion editor, switch to face, and if needed, check show expression to reference your current expression. Also, disable symmetry if it's enabled. Select the eye bone and translate it slightly backwards. Then bake the expression. The eyeball will now move backward to mitigate clipping during a blink. In all but extreme cases, this should solve the issue. I previously created a custom expression for this character, but these teeth are not compatible with the original data. To fix this, I will dial in the expression and adjust the teeth to fit it, then rebake it so that the new teeth will acquire the data. Adjusting the teeth is surprisingly easy with the transform tools while in the Edit Mesh window. Now I will demonstrate how to create a head preset. First, I will save the eyes and teeth as reusable assets, which I will later apply to another character. Saving an asset requires two steps. Select the asset you want to save, then go to the designated category in the Content window and click Save. A thumbnail will be automatically generated for you based on the current camera. You can replace it with another image at any time. The head consists of several components: the morph, the facial profile, the eyes, the teeth, the eyelashes, the skin and material settings, and now the wrinkle settings with the latest update. I'm sure in the future it will contain even more components. Each of these components can be saved as an individual preset, and the head preset unifies them all. Creating a head preset is relatively simple. First, you must separate the body and head using the create head and body morph sliders command. Next, go to the content window, select your character, and click save while in the head morph and skin category. A body preset can likewise be saved, although it contains less components. Now I'm going to load a demo character and use it as a base to apply the presets I just created. I am clearing the existing morphs, leaving the character in its default neutral state. Any preset or accessory can be applied by double-clicking or dragging the item onto the character from the content window. The preset loads fine, although there is an obvious clash between realism and cartoon styles. Loading the body preset and the stylized hair minimizes this. All of her presets are now loaded to this demo avatar, including the facial profile, which is part of the head preset. The ability to load an entire head setup helps greatly with mixing character designs. Finally, I will apply the teeth and eyes to another stylized character, so I can explain some of the issues that you may have to solve for your project. First, note that your character must have the same tier of facial profile for the custom teeth or eyes to load. For example, these teeth were created with the extended facial profile, so the character must have the extended facial profile applied for the teeth to load properly. You can see that the initial alignment is off for this character, but it can be easily corrected using the transform tools in Edit Mesh. After which you can align the teeth better by comparing the position with the icons in the facial editor. Keep in mind that the teeth were aligned with the previous stylized character, so the offset was amplified based on the teeth's initial position. For best results, design your teeth around the base avatar shape. Using the facial editor to examine expressions is an important part of adjusting the facial profile. This menu allows you to go through common expression combinations and see if there are any issues, such as geometry clipping or misalignment with other assets, such as the teeth or tongue. Ideally, you want the expression to match the thumbnails, and adjusting the teeth to match the key expressions is an important step. I'm scaling down the iris size a bit as I find them to be too dilated. Previously, I had used both the sclera, UV radius, and the morphing options to achieve a large iris, but I can just use the sclera UV option to decrease the iris scale. The difference is that adjusting the UV radius impacts the texture, whereas the morphing options impact the geometry. The biggest issues are with the custom expressions designed for this character. The rest of the expressions work pretty well. You can see the side-by-side comparisons here. As I mentioned, you may not need toon assets to convey a certain style, although I think that with the anime character, it would be difficult to do without it. And with that, I will end the video. I will try to answer questions in the comment section, although I have to admit that I'm not normally logged into YouTube. You can also try to reach me at my new Facebook page, listed below. This is Peter Alexander. Thanks for watching.